Good morning, friends. Welcome to Storytime with Whitingfield MWR Library. I'm Miss Kelly, and I'm excited to read with you. October is National Go on a Field Trip Month. So our first book today is Zoo Day. The author who wrote the words is Anne Rockwell. The illustrator who drew the pictures is Lizzie Rockwell. Zoo Day. On a sunny Saturday, I go to the zoo with my mother, father, and sister Lucy. It's my very first time there. Lucy's too. My father buys a ticket for each of us and a bag of popcorn to share. While we look at the map, I can hear roars and howls, chitter-chatter and songs, cries and squawks. I hold my father's hand tightly because the roars make me a little nervous. First, we go into the jungle house to say hello to the monkeys. Next, we visit the gorilla forest. The big gorilla comes right up to the window. She stares at me so hard, I feel like I'm in the zoo and she's the visitor. At the African plain, we find a mother elephant and her baby. The baby elephant sticks very close to its mother. There are funny-looking ostriches, zebras, and giraffes munching leaves off the trees. Inside the Grasslands building, I can see the big lion with the yellow mane. He looks sleepy and quiet, but all of a sudden he opens his mouth and roars. It must be his nap time, Lucy says. I bet he's telling us to shush and let him sleep. Then we visit the reptile house. We see a giant boa constrictor and a tiny coral snake. The coral snake is very pretty, but very poisonous. There is a turtle swimming in a tank. We walk along the shady path to where the polar bears live. Lucy loves polar bears. She has a big stuffed animal polar bear at home, and it's her favorite toy. We love to watch the polar bears in their underwater dance. We could watch them all day. But my father says, it's almost time. Let's go. We hurry over to the big pond where the sea lions live. They're climbing on rocks and sliding off, and they're barking and splashing and grunting. Lucy laughs. They sound just like Roxy. Roxy is our pet beagle. I laugh too. When the zookeeper comes to feed them, the sea lions gather around, barking even louder. She throws a shiny fish up in the air. A sea lion catches it and slaps his flipper on the rock. Another catches a fish and dives underwater. Now they're making me hungry, I tell my mom. Me too, she says. We sit at a picnic table and unpack our lunch. Just as soon as we finish, I hear a whistling sound. What's that? I wonder. We follow the sound to the birdhouse, but the birds are not in cages. They are flying all over and all around us, but they don't fly out the door. Lucy and I hold up small cups of nectar. A parrot stands on my shoulder and takes a sip. I wish I could bring him home, but we can't bring home any of the animals we've seen. Just the same, Dad buys us 2 balloons, one with a polar bear for Lucy and one with a parrot for me, to remember our day at the zoo. Our next book is Hiking Day. The author who wrote the words is Anne Rockwell, and the illustrator who drew the pictures is Lizzie Rockwell. Hiking Day. Today, my mother, my father, and I are going to climb Hickory Hill. That's the mountain I see from my window. It looks like a mountain to me, but everyone calls it Hickory Hill. I put on sturdy sneakers, find my floppy hat, and fill my water bottle. The ride from our house to Hickory Hill takes about 20 minutes. As we drive, I see fewer and fewer houses and more tall trees. As soon as we park the car, we check the map to see which trail to follow. Trails are like paths cut through the woods. We choose the red one. It's my favorite color. The minute we step onto the trail, we are surrounded by tall trees. We can't see sky. The ground is covered with leaves and ferns. It looks like the inside of my mother's terrarium. It is so quiet. I can hear my sneakers crunching the ground. As we climb higher up Hickory Hill, a fat toad leaps in front of us. "Ribbit, ribbit," he says. I kneel down to look at him. His colors match the floor of the woods and the tree bark. "Hey," says my father, "where is the red trail marker?" "Uh-oh," Mom says. "Where can it be?" Are we lost? I wonder. We look at all the tree trunks around us. Then we notice a prickly porcupine slowly climbing a tree. As she moves up the trunk, I see a red mark appear. "I found it!" I cry. We begin hiking again. I hear a loud tap, 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 tap. It sounds like someone is using a hammer. A little chipmunk puts a hickory nut in her mouth and scurries through the leaves. "Getting ready for winter," my father says. The tap, tap, tap gets louder. My mother points up and I see a woodpecker making a hole in a tree. He is looking for insects hiding inside, she tells me. He uses his beak to make the hole bigger and find good things to eat. "Bugs? Yuck," say Dad and I. We see some yellow mushrooms and red berries growing on a bush. But that beautiful, friendly toad is gone. Maybe he decided to hike down Hickory Hill instead of hiking up with us. Soon we stop for a drink. All of a sudden, I know someone is looking at me. I slowly turn to see a deer with wide antlers. He leaps away so fast that no one sees him but me. The more we walk, the more I notice the trees are not so tall. The ground is rockier. Now I can see bits of blue sky and even an airplane flying across the sky. Suddenly, the ground below my feet isn't the woodland floor. It is a big, flat rock. We're at the summit, my father tells me, the top of Hickory Hill. "We did it," I say. We all sit down on the sunny, warm rock, and guess who jumps up to be with us? The friendly, fat toad. The end. I hope you enjoyed reading with me to celebrate October's National Go on a Field Trip Month. Join me each Wednesday on our Whitingfield MWR Facebook page for more storytime adventures. Have a wonderful day. Bye.